Good morning, everyone. Boker Tov. Continuing in Siman Reish Nun Gimel, we gave an intro yesterday, and we gave 4 reasons as to how you're allowed to put food onto fire. We'll discuss if the fire is covered, whatever. But 4 reasons how you can put food onto fire. Starts cooking before Shabbat. How it could continue into Shabbat, even though the Chachamim were worried Shema Yechateh, that maybe a person might come and stoke the fire, and that's not allowed on Shabbat. So one of the reasons is, the second reason from yesterday, is if it's fully cooked, and at the point of fully cooked, it's going to continue to get worse for you. Meaning, at the point of Erev Shabbat, right before Shabbat, this item, let's talk about the Dafina, that's the usual thing, it's already fully cooked, and it's, as long as it's going to stay on the fire, okay, it's going to be hot for me, but I don't want to higher the temperature. I would never want to stoke it because it's going to get worse for me. You could imagine there's some people that like a watery Dafina or a more it's not watery Dafina. So right, yeah, there's two different, right? So people like a dry cholent or a wetter cholent, right? So yeah, forget the cholent, right? So therefore, when we say that it's fully cooked, and now it's just going to get worse and worse for you. So let's say you're the guy that likes it wet, and now it's going to get drier and drier and drier. So I would never want to higher I would never want to stoke the fire. I would never want to higher the temperature on the knob or anything like that. So who do we look at as far as who it's bad for? Maybe there's someone at your table they like it like that. So it basically goes on the owner. And the owner of that Dafina, the owner of the Balabait, even if he has guests or whatever, if it's for him, it's going to be mitztamek veralo. If for him, it's going to get worse and worse, then you could put that on the fire from before Shabbat without having to cover knobs or without having to, because that's the next part, that if you don't have this, like let's say it is an item that is cooked a little bit, but not cooked a third, because we spoke about yesterday that it cooked a third, machab ben drusai. So if it's in between that point, it's not raw, because we said if it's raw, then you're going to forget about it. You're not going to stoke the fire. It has all night to cook, and it's not going to. So, but if you have, because this is the worry of maybe coming to stoke the fire, might be even at nighttime already, not like the morning of. So therefore, if I put it in raw, I know I already set it up at the amount of fire that's going to last till the morning. But so if it's at that point between not raw, but it's also not a third cooked yet, that's where there's an issue. Or if it's fully cooked already, but it's going to continue to get better and better and better for you. It's going to get darker and darker, that Dafina, and that's how you like it. So in that case, that's where you're going to need what's called garuf katum, as you said yesterday, that you're going to need that the coals are either not there, so there's nothing to stoke, or it's covered. And for our purposes, we don't have coals, let's say, but that the knobs are covered, so it just reminds you, hey, my knobs are covered. I'm not going to now go and touch the knobs and adjust things. 2 more points is, number 1 is, let's say you have water in a thing, whatever, and this thing's on the fire because you want to have hot water on Shabbat, not the electric ones that we have. Let's say again you have like a pot of water on the fire. So a pot of water is mitztamek veralo. It always gets worse because it just evaporates. Meaning once it gets fully cooked, once it gets fully boiled, it's just going to get worse and worse for you because it's going to eventually evaporate. So therefore, boiled water, if it's already boiled up before Shabbat, you can keep it on an exposed fire without having to cover anything because you're not going to hire that fire because it's going to just get worse and worse for you. And lastly is, the Shulchan Aruch says that if, let's say, right before Shabbat, I put in a new piece of meat that is raw, so my whole thing's already cooked, but I throw in a raw piece, then it's considered as if the whole thing is raw, and therefore I have that leniency that I'm not going to worry, I'm not going to pay attention to this until the morning, I'm not going to pay attention to it, I'm not going to come and stoke the fire. And Rabbi Ben Zion Abba Shaul would do this in his Dafina before Shabbat. Maybe he called it the chamin, but he would put in a piece of raw meat right before Shabbat so that he knows that he wouldn't come to adjust it at any point throughout Shabbat.
So what if you did, it became like it's like mortar? It's not running with water anymore.
I mean, it's already now very.
Now it's overcooked.
It's very dry. Can you add water? Is that your question?
Can you take hot water from the hot water
Okay.
and put it in there? Is it both cooked already?
Okay, so that's a very big question. Big machloket between Rabbi Ovadia Yosef and Rabbi Shalom Asas. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef says no. Rabbi Shalom Asas says yes, provided if it's kind of direct. There's a lot of laws for this, but in short, if you would take your Dafina pot directly from, let's say, the crock pot, and you're not putting it down or anything like that, and you're putting it right under the spout of the hot water urn, and then you put the hot water on, and it's boiling hot water, right? And then you turn it off, and then you put it right back to where it was cooking. According to Rabbi Shalom Asas, in a case of need, that it's like, I'm not going to be able to eat this, then you could do that. According to Rabbi Shalom Asas. No, because then it's considered like it's cooling down at that point. So it's got to be like direct. That's Rabbi Shalom Asas, if it's a need be, but many argue. So if you're Moroccan, you have what to rely on. If you're not Moroccan, if it's really, really the case that, then you really, really need it. Otherwise, you're not going to have food on Shabbat. Let's say you're not going to have that Dafina, then you could rely on it. So that's the laws of Chazara, which we'll get into, God willing, that you could sometimes put the food back onto the fire. We're going to talk about that eventually, B'ezrat Hashem. Okay, that's that for today. Mincha tonight at 6:45. Have a good day, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. Tanit Eliyahu.